And what we estimate based on our survey is that there are at least 1,000 Japanese students enrolled in LA County colleges and universities. And not quite 30% of these are at UCLA and USC. Also, we estimate there are over 2,300 Japanese American students. And there are a large number, I frankly have no idea how many, of Japanese-related alumni. Now, why do the alumni matter? Because the Japanese students, while they are students, form personal relationships with Americans. And those relationships continue after they graduate. And those relationships often blossom into business ties. And those ties, personal and business ties, continue to cement the growing togetherness of Los Angeles and Japan. We look in the report at cultural venues. There's Japanese and American National Museum downtown, variety of public, wonderful gardens, temples, 4 major temples. We look at the media. I don't know if we've got everybody, but we are pretty close to everybody. We consider the organizations that exist to foster this relationship, beginning, of course, with the big cheese who's now left because he had to go to Ventura, the Consul General of Japan, with JETRO, with the Business Association, the Japan-based Business Association, the JBA, the Japan Chamber of Commerce, not here, should be, Japan-America Society, thank you, all of the other societies that exist to foster this relationship. And on the American side, organizations, here's a list, who are interested in expanding international ties between America and Los Angeles in particular, and the rest of the world, Japan in particular. Okay, so here's a 10-year history, 11, of two-way trade between Japan, and this is imports and exports coming through what's called the LA Customs District. And the LA Customs District has 3 main ports. These are the Port of Los Angeles, Long Beach, the airport, and then there are some smaller places where foreign goods are handled. So this trade, what is involved? Well, if you look at the imports coming through into America through the customs district from Japan, what you see at the top of the bottom are vehicles and auto parts, and rubber parts is predominantly tires. Okay, so the lots involved in motor vehicle industry. Secondly, computers, peripherals, machinery, electrical equipment, and electronic components. We're back to TVs and things of that nature again. Optical and medical instruments. Very techy stuff. Okay, very high quality stuff coming from Japan. What goes the other way? Some of it's the same. The instruments are there, the computers and peripherals are there, the electrical equipment is there. What's different is aircraft and parts and plastics and plastic products. This is predominantly plastic resins. Okay? So these are the biggest. These are not the only. The list of products that is traveling in trade between America and Japan through Los Angeles is huge. All right, most of the trade by dollar value, and this is how we're measuring it now, 2/3 of it goes through POLA, which is for those of you not into the jargon, is Port of Los Angeles, okay, which is in San Pedro. And of the other third, the Port of Long Beach, POLB, and LAX, the airport, divide roughly the other third. There's small amounts otherwise, but this is the way the trade operates. Much of it's high value, and when it's high value or needs to travel quickly, then it goes by air Otherwise, it comes by ship. Okay. Several years ago at LAEDC, we were interested in how important are foreign-owned businesses in Los Angeles County. And so we did a survey. And for Japan in particular, is what we found. There are, in LA County, or were that year, over 1,400 Japan-owned or affiliated business establishments. Now, if you have a company that has an office here in LA County, that's one establishment. If you are Panasonic, I lost count. But there were, 3 or 4 different companies with 3 or 4 different offices throughout the companies. Each one of those is an establishment. Okay, a company with an office headquarters and a warehouse and a manufacturing plant would be 3 establishments. Everybody with me now? So we got 1,400 of these in Los Angeles with Japanese ownership or affiliation. By numbers of them, the retail trade sector had the most of them. Wholesale trade was number 2. Wholesale trade, again, you won't know this unless I tell you, is where import and export businesses get counted, okay, as well as distribution and warehousing. Finance and insurance is included as number 3. If you look at where these establishments are located, most of them, the 454, are in the city of Los Angeles. Not a surprise, the city of Los Angeles, if you look at the map, is big. Okay, but the 3 cities there, Los Angeles, Torrance, Long Beach, they together account for half of the total. Okay, so Japanese establishments are spread throughout the county, but concentrated in these areas. Now, how many people work in these establishments? And we did some estimating here, and we think close to 50,000 people. Now, this was before the recession, remember. Okay, but a considerable number. And we estimate, again, total payroll, $2.6 billion. This is a big number, which means that average wages in that set of estimates for workers in Japanese-owned companies this is an LAEDC number, not a Japan Business Association number, came to $65,900, against which that particular year, the LA County average was 51. Okay? So from the worker's point of view, working for a Japanese-owned firm is a pretty neat thing to be able to do. Japan certainly matters to the workers. Okay, the report includes a set of lists. On the one hand, they are LA County-based companies who have a presence in Japan. On the other hand, they are Japanese companies with U.S. or North American headquarters in LA County. Okay, these lists are living documents, so if you get into the report and want to make a contribution and we've missed something, for heaven's sakes, let me know. Okay, what's next for the relationship between Japan and Los Angeles County? Well, there is an LA County strategic plan for economic development, and the goals of the plan are to make Los Angeles a better place to do business, a better place to live, and to attract businesses and that will grow and prosper. And in that plan, there are strategies that target international trade and that target foreign direct investment. The LAEDC has a subsidiary, the World Trade Center Association, Los Angeles, Long Beach. And the World Trade Center Association is vitally interested and working to attract foreign direct investment from Japan particularly in industries like green, clean tech, automotive, renewable energies, healthcare, biotechnologies. But there are other opportunities. When I sat and listened, they just reeled them all off. And I still ran out of room on the slide before I could say something about advanced transportation technologies. Okay, so there's a lot of potential here. So the report concludes, LA County and Japan are growing together. It's a very special relationship, and the Consul General spoke to the response that came from Southern California, from us, after March 11th. And it runs both ways. That relationship exists because of cultural, personal, economic, and business ties. Both are centers of innovation and new technologies, and both aim to be leaders in renewable energy and climate change. LA County offers Japanese investors a huge market, the trade infrastructure, the talented workforce, in addition to the entertainment infrastructure and the aerospace infrastructure. It's a tech-rich area and has the largest manufacturing base in the United States. And indeed, it has, we believe, the largest Japanese-American community in the United States. And against many, but not all of our competitors, we are competitive on costs. What does the county gain from Japanese investment? Sharing new technology and know-how positions industries and firms in LA County for the future. And the future-oriented nature of the list that's there indicates where I think we're headed. And LA County manufacturers can benefit from Japanese advances. Japanese FDI, and this is the message I give to our politicians, okay, brings more businesses, more employees, and more tax revenues. And these days, that's a pretty impressive combination of benefits. Okay, so the report is available. I apologize, it's already past February 18th. Okay, but the report is available on the LAEDC website. There's no charge for any of the reports that we produce, and they're all there. And you will find it at laedc.org. It's no longer at forecast. Okay, so a /reports. Okay, because if you go to forecast, you're going to get invited to go to our next forecast event, which is in July. Okay, if you want to come, fine, sign up. Okay, but if you're looking for the report, you will want laedc.org/report. Japan Matters. The report documents many of the ways in which Japan matters for Los Angeles County. And I think it's a lesson we all need to understand. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nancy. Really appreciate that, and thank you to all the panelists for really a rich presentation, which I think does demonstrate the importance of Japan to the United States and vice versa, and particularly here in the Southern California region. We have a little bit of time, about 10 minutes or so, for questions, and so I'm going to ask the panelists to be as brief as possible as they answer these. First, this is directed at Kappei, but I'd like others to join in if they'd like. Chinese production capabilities are inexpensive comparatively. After R&D and products are made market ready, would it be advantageous and business smart to use China's inexpensive labor, et cetera, for mass production? Or how can inexpensive production remain in Japan or stateside competitively and profitably? In other words, how do we compete with China?
I don't think we really intend to compete with China head to head. I think each country has its advantages, and so that we are trying to utilize the strength of each country as much as possible. For example, in case of like R&D effort, even for R&D.